Good evening, everyone. How's everyone doing? I'm Jonathan Mathis. I am the sports judge. Welcome to my sports channel. Thank you guys for tuning in. There are a variety of choices out there. I thank you guys so much. And do me a huge favor before I get started and before I dive in to the Los Angeles Lakers. Subscribe to this channel. Give this video a thumbs up. Share this video. Look at my other videos. Check out my content. Tell me what's up. Like my fan page, The Sports Judge, on Facebook. It just reached 700 followers. I thank you guys so much. I'm truly humbled. But let's dive right into the Los Angeles Lakers because, look, last night, and I apologize for my behavior last night. I know I said I wasn't going to apologize for being brutally honest and for being myself. But I went on a tirade last night, an epic tirade. It was a profanity laced rant. If you guys watched it, you guys saw the number of f-bombs that I dropped in the video. I was heated. It was in the moment. There was anger boiling over inside of me. After the Lakers lost a game that they clearly should have won. Once again, that's been a problem for the Los Angeles Lakers, not being able to close out games. And quite frankly, it's been a nightmare for the Los Angeles Lakers. The Los Angeles Lakers have dug themselves in a deep hole that I don't see them climbing out anytime soon. I think, this season is beyond repair. There's no way if this team continues to play like this and don't finally turn it on, there's no way that this team is going to make the playoffs, and they don't deserve to be a playoff team, quite frankly, because they're playing poor basketball. They're not playing their best basketball at all, and I'm not so sure about Darvin Ham anymore, if he's the right guy. Personally, I don't like him. I like Pastrami better. If you wanted to persuade me on what type of sandwich to eat, it would be a pastrami sandwich. It wouldn't be a ham sandwich. I don't even really eat that much ham for Thanksgiving. I prefer the turkey over ham. So Darvin Ham is not, I don't think he is the right coach. And that's another thing. The Lakers can't keep, placing the blame on coaches and scapegoating, the coaches. Because it's not all on coaching. It starts with the front office. Let's keep it real. Rob Pelinka is unfit to be the general manager. Jeannie Buss should understand this by now. It's time to clearly move on from Rob Pelinka. The only reason Rob Pelinka was handed that job to begin with is simply because of who he was and the connections that he had. He was Kobe's agent. And because of the relationship that he had with Kobe Bryant and obviously Jeannie Buss, he was put in a position to oversee the franchise, to make personnel decisions, and doesn't have a clue what he's doing. It's evident. It's evident. This team is constructed to fail. It's strange the way this team is built. This team is not built for the long haul. This team is not built to contend for a championship. That much is obvious. Fine, you got a bunch of popular names on the team. Sure. You got some big name players on the team. But have you seen a level of production from this Laker team? Not at all. Not at all. It's a bunch of big name players, veteran stars, who have ego trips, who can't stay healthy. I'm done with AD. I know they moved him to the center position, but how long can he hold up for this team? The question with AD is how long can he stay healthy? How long can he maintain his health. Because we've seen in previous seasons AD go down with an injury. He has a bunch of medical bills. He's fragile. He's brittle. He can't stay healthy. He can't carry a team by himself. Like I've said before, LeBron needs AD and AD needs LeBron. LeBron didn't even play yesterday because he's suffering from a groin injury that had him sidelined in yesterday's game. I don't know if it would have made much of a difference because with him on the floor and with him off the floor, the Lakers still find a way to blow it. They still can't win games at a consistent level. They still can't find a way to get in the wins column. They have not found that winning formula. And I'm not so sure if they're going to ever discover that winning formula. They don't have a very good team. This team is lousy. This team has fallen to 2-10 on the season. A woeful 2-10 on the season. They have fallen into the depths of despair. This team is mediocre. This team is getting beat by almost every team they face on their schedule. This Laker team doesn't show any life, particularly in the second half of games. They don't show life in the fourth quarter. This team hasn't shown much life this season. They've been lifeless. They've been helpless. They've been hopeless. The lackluster play continues to plague this team. The inability to make shots continues to hurt this team. You talk about the shooting deficiencies. You talk about the ineffectiveness. You know, you talk about the lack of chemistry, the lack of cohesion. All of that has impacted this team. This team is not a playoff team. This Laker team is terrible. And yesterday, my rant was all of the pent-up frustration. I had been holding it all in, and I had to finally release my anger. Because it's been an emotional couple weeks for the Los Angeles Lakers. It's been an emotional couple of weeks. And I just don't see them turning this around. They're not going to turn their season around. It's been an utter disaster. You know, with this was a team with 1:31 remaining in the first half that held a 13-point lead over the Sacramento Kings. That lead was short-lived. Then you saw a major turn of events in the second half in which the Lakers completely came unraveled. Couldn't preserve the lead. Let the Kings get back in the game. Allowed them to find a rhythm. And the Kings opened the floodgates. They kept scoring. You know, there was a few times that both teams traded baskets. The Lakers were up by 12 points at one point, 57-45. And the Lakers' lead was down to only 4 points. 60-56 at halftime. After Sacramento closed the quarter on a 14-15 run, in 90 seconds. The Lakers are doing themselves a disservice. And I don't see this nightmare ending anytime soon. For the Los Angeles Lakers, they tried to find excuses for why they're losing. You can blame it on the injuries. You could blame it on the front office. You could blame it on a number of things. But the bottom line is, this team is bad. This team is terrible. They're complete garbage. I mean, I know that might sound harsh, but, I had options last night, and I decided to watch the Laker game, and I probably should have watched the USC game, because my USC Trojans took care of business against Colorado, winning 55-17. Maybe that's the game I should have tuned into instead of watching this damn Laker game, because the Lake Show has been canceled. It has been canceled. And I'm tired of, this Laker team. I'm over the season already. And the Lakers continue to make self-inflicted mistakes. And those self-inflicted mistakes are piling up. They look bad. They look really, really bad. They ended up losing a game that they should have won. This was a much needed victory for the Lakers. It's a game that they should have won. But if the Kings close out a game on a De'Aaron Fox 8-0 run, then you're not going to have much luck. And that's what the Kings did. The Kings clearly outplayed the Lakers in the final quarter. They had more hustle. They had more swagger. You can make the argument that they have more talent. The only reason the Lakers seem intimidating and scary, well, I shouldn't even say they are intimidating or scary because they're really not, is because they have big name players. They have Anthony Davis. They have Russell Westbrook. Westbrook. A guy who misses a ton of shots. But it's not going too well for the Los Angeles Lakers. It really isn't. The Lakers lost their 5th consecutive game for the second time this season. And their 2-10 record matches the 1957-58 and 2015 and 16 seasons for the worst start in franchise history. Can you believe that? The worst start in franchise history. It's embarrassing. And they're also tied with the Houston Rockets for the worst record in the NBA. At some point, the Houston Rockets, with Jalen Green and the rest of that gang, will surpass the Lakers. I'm pretty sure of it. I'm pretty certain of it. They'll get probably a few more wins, or maybe even 5 or 10 more wins than what the Lakers have. At the end of it all. But this was supposed to be a different season for the Lakers. A new coaching staff, a better supporting cast. More like a disappointing supporting cast. Russell Westbrook is coming off the bench. And maybe eventually he'll be traded. The Lakers need to make a trade at some point. They need to get someone. They need to get a player that brings a spark to this team. That's what they need. This is a dispirited Laker team, and this is a team that doesn't have enough heart. It I mean, they don't have that competitive fire. They need a fierce competitor to team up with LeBron James. If they want to keep LeBron James and as this cornerstone player, they need to give him some shooters. They need to surround him with people that can actually knock down some jump shots. And they probably need to get rid of Anthony Davis. It's probably time to consider shopping Anthony Davis. Because I'm so done with Anthony Davis. I'm completely over Anthony Davis. I'm done. I'm tired of him. I can't call him the face of the franchise. I can't. You can't. No Laker fan can. Because he's always injured all the damn time. I don't know if he has weak bones. He's only, 29 years old, and he has the body of a senior citizen, an old man. And the Lakers are, I believe, 9 games below 500. I think they are. Are they 12 games under 500? I don't know at this point. But it seems like Laker games have been predictable. You're almost guaranteed a loss if you're the Lakers. People can pretty much forecast what the future beholds for this Laker team. This team is not going anywhere with Rob Pelinka as the general manager. And this team is not going anywhere as long as Jeannie Buss continues to have the mindset that she has. She's set in her ways. She's very stubborn. She has too many people telling her how to run her franchise and what to do behind the scenes. I know there's people in her ear. But she is nothing like Jerry Buss. Nothing like her father. I know they have the same blood. I know she has the same last name. But that doesn't mean anything. She definitely doesn't have the ability to run this franchise. She doesn't have that business acumen. The Lakers are in total disarray. It's a complete mess. It has become a toxic culture. They need a coach, and I said this before, they need Mark Jackson to come in and reshape that culture. That's who they should have hired in the first place. I wasn't too thrilled when we learned who the next head coach would be. And that's not me being disrespectful to Darvin Ham. But this is a Laker team that continues to get off to slow starts in the first quarter. A second unit that can, give this team some momentum going into halftime. We've seen that. We've got glimpses of that. But then the third quarter, it always seems like it's a disaster. They sort of rallied to make things interesting. And then they failed to execute down the stretch on both ends of the floor most of the time. Rinse and repeat. Rinse and repeat. L's after L's after L's. The Lakers are taking their L's. It's like me taking a damn L on the sneaker app all the damn time. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. Nearly every night. You've come to expect a loss from this Laker team. By now, you are used to a team that can't put it together. And this is a spoiled fan base because, Laker fans are probably having a hard time with this, like myself, because we're used to seeing a winning team. We're used to a winning product. We're not used to this mediocrity. We don't even know what mediocrity is. We haven't known what that was. We probably can't even spell the word correctly. I sort of can, but mediocrity is not one of my favorite words. But it's the self-inflicted mistakes that continue to doom this Laker team. They're fouling a lot. They're blowing their assignments, particularly on defense. They're turning over the ball too much. They do that frequently. They turn over the ball a lot. They need to do better taking care of the basketball. They got to be better. Like Darvin Ham said, they got to be better. And he took somewhat accountability during the press conference yesterday. He was saying that he has to coach them better, that his coaching staff has to coach them harder. I did hear some of the press conference after the game, following the game. But the Lakers were in solid position to win the game. Things went in their favor, actually, for once. They won the rebounding battle. They were consistent and dominant on the boards, grabbing offensive boards. They turned over the ball, less than the Kings did. So you did see some improvement, but still wasn't enough to get the win. They made and attempted more free throws, so that means they're aggressive inside the paint. They need to be more aggressive inside the paint. They need to drive to the basket and draw more fouls instead of settling for threes, because they shot 40% on threes. And they had 4 players score 19 plus points in a more balanced offensive attack. I like what I saw from Austin Reeves. He had a pretty good game last night. Him and Lonnie Walker, the fourth, they each combined for they each scored 19 points in the game. So you're getting production from those two guys particularly, and they right now they look like the 2 best shooters on the team. But nobody else is showing up. Nobody else is showing up for the party. And Anthony Davis, people always watching him carefully, because he's always banged up. And I'm not so sure LeBron is going to be healthy for a full season. He's older now. At some point, father time is going to catch up to him. We don't really question his durability like we should. I know he has the longevity. We know that about him. We know that he's been doing this for a long time. That he can still rack up numbers. That he still is putting his name in the record books for surpassing NBA legends by scoring the most points. But all of that is of little significance and less important when your team is not winning. I don't care about the individual accolades. I want to see what this team can do collectively. Championships is the main objective. Winning championships are the main objective. Nothing else matters unless you're a guy who likes to, pile up the stat sheet. Unless you're a guy who prioritizes individual play over team play. Unless you're one of those players. But when LeBron's on the court, you can see that he wants to win. He still has that competitive drive. He's still fierce. He still brings the energy and the excitement. He's still the player who puts butts in seats. But it hasn't been enough to win basketball games. His presence alone hasn't been enough to win basketball games. Does this hurt his legacy a little bit? What does this say about his legacy? I'll let you guys decide that one. You guys can be the judge. But right now, things are bleak in Lakerland. And there's a dark cloud hovering over these Lakers. There is so much uncertainty. Surrounding this team. There's not much to say about these Lakers right now. They continue to lose basketball games. And it's just too bad for a team with a rich history, for a storied franchise that has won multiple championships. You look up in the rafters and you see banners hanging everywhere. A team that had one of the greatest players to ever represent the brand name franchise in Kobe Bryant. Rest your soul, Kobe. We miss you. A team that once had the most dominant center in NBA history, arguably, in Shaquille O'Neal. A team that has some of the most memorable role players that knock down some big shots in clutch moments. From Big Shot Rob nailing a game-winning 3 against the Sacramento Kings in the playoff series, to Derek Fisher 0.4 shot. One lucky shot deserves another. We've had it all as Laker fans. We've seen it all. You talk about Magic Johnson, a guy having eyes in the back of his head, able to see the entire floor, had that vision, knew where everyone was at around him, was able to make those incredible passes because he was that great of a playmaker. You talk about Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, who many believe is the greatest player of all time. Not Michael Jordan, but they say he's the actually the greatest player of all time. There's people that honestly believe that. You're embarrassing the legacies of these guys that came before you. It's shameful. And it pains me to watch this Laker team. You know, I try to tune into games, show my support as a true Laker fan, and this is what they give us. You know, they give us a pedestrian, lousy showing. And that has become the common theme in Lakerland. What can any of us do? There's nothing we can do. The front office has to address the team's glaring needs, and that's shooters. And players who can actually take care of the basketball and not turn it over. Also, they need to play smart basketball. They don't play smart basketball. When you launch shots from outside and you miss them constantly, that's not playing smart basketball. The Lakers don't play smart basketball. They're terrible. And they continue to make a mockery out of themselves. And now they have, along with the Brooklyn Nets, they have become the laughingstock of the league. And that's their next opponent, is the Brooklyn Nets. I think that's going to be an interesting watch, for sure. Because you got two teams that have publicly humiliated themselves and have created a distraction within the organization. So that would be an interesting game to watch. And we'll see what will happen. Thanks for watching, everyone. I know I went a long time, but I had to get a lot off my chest, and I did. You know, I expressed myself. I voiced my displeasure about this Laker team, as I've been doing quite often. Thank you guys for tuning in. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Also, go over to the Sports Judge fan page on Facebook. Like that, give it a thumbs up, and follow. Follow the page. Thank you guys so much. You guys enjoy the rest of your Saturday. To all my college football fans, enjoy the games today. See you guys next time in another video. Jonathan saying peace. Stay positive. Be safe. Do great things. I'll holler at you guys soon.